I think there are issues that the board should be involved in, and there are issues that they shouldn't be involved in. I had a board member at Open Table who wanted to design the product, and that for me was not a productive board activity. So you try to keep on the topics that the board is there, and then you try to add value in a surgical way and in an empathetic way. Just kind of, I've been in that chair. That is a hard chair. So I'm not going to, I very rarely, I aspire not to come across as sharp, critical, just you just surgically pick the topics where you think, it makes sense to opine and you have something to say. I mean, there's a Grateful Dead lyric, please don't dominate the rap jack if you got nothing new to say. Way too many board members just talk for airtime. And, I try not to be that person.
What can founders do to generate and build the best relationship of trust with their board?
The most important thing is pick your board members selectively. The founder who comes in, gets 10 term sheets, spends an hour with each of the GPs and then picks one. I don't know how you're actually picking your boss potentially for a decade or more. Spend a little time thinking about it, getting them to know them. Do we, share the same values? Do we have the same vision? Be selective in whose money you take would be the biggest advice.
I agree, Jeff. We both invested in very compressed timelines over the last 24 months. I didn't. Many entrepreneurs didn't. I guess you didn't, because otherwise you just lost every deal. Oh, Jeff, I want a month getting to know you. Well, I'm deciding next week. How did
a month? It's hard to get the month. It is, this the fun. You experience this. It's the job of hurry up and wait. You're just kissing frogs. Something comes in, and then you just have to, you have to dive on it and spend it. So we try to get as much time with the entrepreneurs as we can, even in the compressed time frames. You're doing dinner. We're do our reverse pitch. You're just trying to make that personal judgment on a compressed time frame, because that is the reality of the market. I try not to write checks in one day, but the market often doesn't give you a month, and if it's a month, it's often an adverse signal. So it's, that they can't raise.
I think there's a lot of misalignments between VCs and founders that we don't talk about. What do you think are the biggest misalignments between founders and VCs?
I think the biggest one is VCs have a portfolio and the founders have an N of one. And so, I try to be very explicit on that. The founder says, okay, I have a fork in the road. What's your point of view on where I should go? And it's like, listen, just so you know, I have a portfolio. Because of that, I'm willing to, I'm attracted to the riskier but higher upside one. You don't have a portfolio. And so that's an important, different alignment. And let's be completely upfront on that.
When you think about the boards that you sit on, who's the best board member that you sit on a board with, and why them?
I'm privileged at this point to be on with a lot of very good board members. The team at Pinterest, the team at Airbnb, the team at Instacart are both, have all gotten, very, very high quality folks, and they're filled with folks who kind of have the same philosophy I have. Don't dominate the rap if you got nothing new to say.
I spoke to Alfred Lin before the show, and he mentioned your walks during COVID on Sundays. What do you think makes Alfred a very good board member?
I think he's very thoughtful. He does his work. He's got unique insights. It's been a pleasure partnering with him at Airbnb. So I'm a big fan.
It was very funny. I asked him what your weakness was, and he said the biggest weakness Jeff has is he works with a competitor.
We hold Sequoia in high regard. They're very good at what they do.
Final one for you. A lot of young VCs listen to the show. What advice would you give to young board members who are assuming their first board roles?
Watch what seasoned board members do. Is that person adding value? If so, how are they doing it, and and why? Just model what's on there. I remember my first board. It was Hotwire, and with David Bonderman's on it of TPG, and the ex-head of Sabre was on it, and so I just watched fascinating on what do these guys, very experienced people, do on boards, and then there's the contra example where someone's just driving you crazy because they're designing product in the board meeting, and it's kind of, so pay attention.